These, I wouldn't recommend these.
You in her DM, I'm in her mouth, we not the same. Flipping the funk, the heat, the fire, got the flame. Came with the gift, the gab, and blessed with lots of game.
Alright guys, welcome back to the third and hopefully final installment of the cab mounts on my Ranger. So I finally got the last frame mount. It's just another frame mount. Alright guys, so if you remember, this bracket on the driver's side only had 2 bolts installed. Now, on these, there's usually a piece that goes across here. These were cut off. I don't think it really matters that much now that they're new. So, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I may fix it, we'll see. But this isn't the only... The cab will be coming back off. Like I said before, I'm just getting it down to measure for my box sides and redo these box side mounts. They don't look good. The welds are not good. I'm not a huge fan of them. So then again, we got the new passenger side bracket in place, all 4 bolts. Like you can see here, this side has this mount. It's not bolted tight. I may bolt it down, I may cut it off. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so those are done. We're gonna put all 4 rubber blocks down and put this cab back into place, and I'll show you the polyurethane bushings in place before we set the cab down, and then I'll show you everything once the cab is down. Alright guys, I ran into one more snag. Not that big of an issue, but I'm going to show you one more common thing that happens, and I missed it because I didn't move the rubber bushing. But these front ones, they blow a hole right through the top of them. Now, it's not that big of an issue to fix, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut these rivets out, pound them out, take this off. And because I'm doing that, I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Now, this one is what it should look like, minus a little bit of the bumps. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut them both off. I'm going to put there's a large washer that is basically the circumference of the outside, and the center is about the same size as the center on here. So this is what a good one looks like, and the other side is what a bad one looks like, and we're going to fix those. Alright guys, so I went and got the washers that I was talking about to fix these mounts up, and this is basically what it's going to look like once it's done. This is the washer. I'm going to clean up these mounts, and hopefully we can get some decent weld onto there. It is metal's pretty thin. I'm going to clean it up as nice as possible, prep it as good as possible, and hopefully there will be enough strength there. Should be. It's still going to be sitting on top. So as you can see, the reason I got both sides is because it adds that bit of a height to it, and it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with. So that's the reason I got both sides. Yeah, so we're gonna get to cleaning this up, and then we'll get it welded in place and get them painted and put them back on the truck.
I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living.
The only reason I'm fixing these is because you can't buy these ones anymore. What I do with it is what can be done. But the only other way would be to find a truck with a good frame. These are one of the first things to rot out, and it's my bad for overlooking these ones. I should have taken the old bushings off of them when I first took the cab apart, just to inspect them. For anybody that wants to know, these washers are 3 inches outside diameter, and they are 1.5 inches inside diameter. They're quite a large washer. If you think about it, this is a 7/16 fender washer, and it almost fits inside of this washer. I don't know how common these are. Your local hardware store may have them. I got a buddy that works at an industrial supply company that deals with mining equipment. So they've got some larger bolts and washers and stuff like that. So that was a big help there. And yeah, so anyways, we're gonna get these clamped together and probably just stitch weld a couple welds. And once that's all done, we will we'll get them bolted back in place and we'll get this cab down. Now guys, like I said, I'm no welder, but it's stuck together. This was my second one. The first one I didn't get cleaned up, I don't think good enough, and there wasn't enough actual meat left on the old mount to get really good. Well, not even really good, but to get better than what I have for penetration. But it's stuck. Once I have everything stripped off of this frame again, I'll probably go back and just clean everything up to the best of my ability. That is repaired. They're both done. They're both repaired. I'm gonna let them cool down and give them a paint job and slap them back on the frame just so that they don't continue to rust. And then we'll get this cab back down. Alright guys, well there you have it. Rebuilt front mount. That's the driver's side. Rear, passenger side. Rear again. And the other rebuilt front mount. Now, I've heard of guys using 3/8 bolts or 1/2 inch bolts, but I found 7/16 is the perfect size to once you punch the old rivets out. So if you use a 7/16 by a 1 inch bolt, it's perfect length. We're gonna put these bushings in place. So I'll show you here. So in this Prothane set, these are the 3 sets you get. So these are your fronts, and this is for a single cab. On the extended cab, the mounts are a little different, but if I remember correctly, the kits are the same. But this is specifically for a single cab. If I had an extended cab mount, I would show you. I know I have one somewhere, but I don't know where right now. But yeah, these are your front where your rad support goes. These are your middle, so they go underneath the feet of the driver and passenger. And these are the rear. They do come in 2 pieces. So you got your top piece, your bottom piece. Now they're all slightly different. So you just they're supposed to match up for size, for diameter wise. And then again, the very front one. I did buy some 3/4 inch schedule 40 gas pipe, just because I couldn't reuse the factory the sleeve insert, so it looks like this. I only have one of these, and I haven't found anywhere that you can buy those specific pieces, even they're no stock in the dealer. So I'm just gonna make some pins out of that 3/4 inch schedule 40 pipe, and it slides right in here. So I'm thinking, so the total dimension of this piece is 3.5 inches. So I'm thinking 3 inches for the back mount, And then probably the same thing, I'll take 1/2 inch off of each total length, just to give the body mount some squish. And the steel insert is so that the bushings don't explode from the inside out. Just to take that stress off of the inside of the bushing. But yeah, so I'm gonna put those bushings in place and I'll show you how they go. We're gonna take the rear one, sits like that. The front one sits like that. And it's the same on both sides. So just to show you guys what I mean by making bushings for these to fit in. So this one has a bushing in it already. I've just pressed it in. It should fit snug enough that you need a little bit of lubrication to push it in, and then just snug enough that you can't really pull it out super easy. So again, this is the top half of the bushing, right? Lower half of the bushing snaps in place. You got that little bit of squish there and that little bit of squish there. So this is the front cab mount, and I've done the same with the rear cab mounts. I don't have the mounts on the front of the frame, the very front of the frame, for the rad support, because my rad support is shaved a lot, and I did do the custom front Mustang 2 frame. Once I get the cab down in place, I can position my rad support brackets that I have to weld onto the frame, and then put the bushings in at the right height, and that'll be that. So the next step is to bring this cab back down.
I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grab my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean. I can't lie, I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you.
Alright guys, there we go. The cab is back down finally. A little bit of tweaking, we'll get it into alignment, and I'll show you in a second how these mounts, or how these bushings look. Hard to see in there, but that's sitting there on the mount. And then we'll go in here, and you can see right through the mount. And there's the front mount. And it's all the same. It's the same all the way around. All four corners. All four corners look like that. So this thing is nice and sitting properly on the frame. So now I can line the bed sides up in a better position than the way they were. This will be redone. That door closes way better than it ever did. One last little update. The cab is officially bolted in place. Nut bolt washer mounted. There's bolts. Door closes. Puck, nut, bolt, washer. This cab is bolted in place. It's solid, it's secure, and it's not going nowhere. That's it. Thank you for watching this episode of Roofless Garage, and don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, take a look at the Instagram channel. We will see you next time.